tattoo workout for you. I think I saw some of you.
Lights. Good morning. I'm Rosaleen HI2016, and along with my husband Jay Kenny, I own Right at Home Boston and North. You may not recognize me today because I'm not wearing my pink wig, but that was all a good time. We started in the system in 2002, and we are now multi-territory owners. I'm standing here today as your chair of the Franchise Advisory Council to give you an update as to what's going on with the council and the initiatives we're talking about for this coming year. I know the protocol is that I should have some great joke or something to start this out, but frankly, my New Yorker mixed with 30 years of Bostonian don't make that comfortable for me, so I'm just gonna kind of move on from that. Also, we've seen some examples from this podium and other podiums that were not so good. So, as members, we were discussing what we wanted to communicate today. And we started to talk about the FAC's role in the system, what it is, what it isn't. And so we did what Brian usually does, and we called Emily. And we said, what are we, what aren't we? And she went back and she got our purpose and objectives. Because frankly, if we were talking about it, maybe you all are talking about that too, like, what the heck is it that they do? So, here is the purpose statement, and I don't like to go into a lot of formal stuff, but I think with all of us together, it's a good idea. The major purpose of the FAC is to create and maintain a constructive open line of communication between the management of Right at Home and the franchisees licensed by the franchisor, and use that interaction to implement the model effectively, improve and strengthen the brand, compete more effectively in the marketplace, and generate more profitability. The objectives of the council are to promote and foster constructive two-way communication between the franchisee and the franchisor, act as an advisory capacity for new programs, initiatives, or changes to the operations of the business model, assist in planning and establishing priorities for the franchisor and the franchise system, assist in the promotion and the protection of the brand, help positively affect change within the franchise system, provide the franchisor with advanced response and analysis to propose policy or procedural changes, program development and introduction, and their impact upon the franchisees. And then it kind of goes on, and then there was another sentence in there that said, the council will consider only issues that impact a large percentage of the franchise system. So, who are the people that will consider only these issues that have, hit a large percentage of the franchise system? My colleagues that they come from all the regions. They have businesses under $2 million, some over $5 million. They're men and women. They're long-term offices. There are people that haven't been in the system way under 5 years. And what do? We come together for live meetings 2 times a year. We have very long conference calls 2 times a year. We have committee meetings on the phone. We have franchisee meetings on the phone. And along with that, we field individual franchisee calls and emails. And we volunteer to take part in pilot programs in the system. Like when you all are asked to join a pilot program, the first one they come to is us. To say if we'll join it first. And so that's what we do. So it's time. So to fulfill our role as a conduit for you to communicate with corporate or to advocate for an issue pressing to your business, it does take time away from our business. But what do we get out of it? Last I looked, I don't get a paycheck for this. So after 14 years in the system, why do it? The answer, it really is engagement with the system. And what's the purpose of this engagement? We've heard this word over and over again this week. And though I love to serve, and it's always been in my nature, I've always been a little competitive when it comes to business. And it's been shown to me over my tenure as a franchisee that if I engage in the system, my personal business is more successful. the franchisees that engage in the system as a whole, though I am talking to the choir here, because if you're here, you are engaging. Those franchise owners are more successful than those that don't take part in it. It's been shown. Successful can be your definition. It can be awesome care in the community. It can be great dollars in your pocket. Either way, those that engage are reaching for both. In the early days, our home improvements were small affairs with close business ties being built and long-term friendships developed. We ran breakout sessions and offered to join committees or to participate in pilots and new programs. We were inspired by our colleagues and maybe a little competitive about awards or how awesome I am or something like that. But it was fun, and we were all new and all building something together. And now this system is big, and we're not a small band of brothers and sisters building these building something. We're big, we're a lot of people, and we're not the same. We're urban and we're rural. We're Medicaid waiver businesses mostly, maybe, private care businesses only. We're managing skilled care, or we're not doing any hands-on care. So with all these differences, what can the FAC do to encourage all you different folks to stay engaged in what we're doing? That's really the biggest question that we have at the FAC this year, how we can encourage you and how we can continue to build the system and develop our businesses and position Right at Home as the provider of choice in all markets. In my case, my story is I had to drink a little Kool-Aid, which for those of you that know me personally, that's like really actually kind of tough. A few years ago, Jay and I were at our 10-year renewal, and frankly, we didn't have much engagement with the system. We created a good business, but other than coming to home improvement and taking the free President's Circle trip, we barely did anything suggested by the franchise. I think we were on the oldest version of Home Track. I never read an update. I didn't watch too many webinars, and I figured if I ignored corporate, they would ignore me. But then something changed. About 5 years ago now, I guess, we were introduced to the Profit Mastery System, and we were asked to be part of one of the original performance groups with other like-sized franchises. It came at a time when we had to manage a rapidly growing business, and I was managing a cash flow that didn't always seem to be going in my favor. It was really stressful times, and in all accounts, I would not have said it was a good time for me to become a joiner and devote any additional time to anything but my core business. But we did, and the Profit Mastery Program gave us a roadmap to get out of that state. But more importantly, my performance group of other Right at Home franchisees helped me to get reintroduced to my peers. They introduced me to many of the new things that corporate put in place. Some of them were little, but some of them were kind of big. I think I probably missed out on $50,000 to $75,000 worth of tax credits over a set of years because I ignored the memo. It was a very expensive memo to my business. Profit Mastery and the Performance Group absolutely changed our business and how we look at our financial and our operational life. Since that time, I gotta say that our business revenues for us, they've almost doubled, but we continue to face some really fierce challenges, and we have faced some really fierce challenges. Our success did not come from me working in my silo by myself. It came from me engaging with my peers and with the system. And then how do I stand up here, like in front of you folks? Where's that leap? Newly re-engaged in the system, then I started to not like what the system was doing. Like I had some real issues. And some people agreed with me. So I put myself up to be on the FAC, and my nice friends on the President's Circle, they voted me in. I was not particularly happy with the way that corporate was moving, but I was willing to engage on that. Engagement does not mean that I am a yes man or a yes woman, or that I have to agree. But to the credit of Alan, Brian, Margaret, they encouraged me not to agree, and they encouraged me to this day, and they put up with me. Engagement is my way of being part of the process, and the solution will help all the franchisees to be successful. Being part of the system success ensures my success in the future. What we are asking ourselves at the FAC this year is, how do we invite that newer owner to be part of this process? How can we have their voice integrated to the system more clearly? Or how do we get a 10-year tenured owner re-engaged in the system? These are our priorities this year. More of you are encouraged to take part of a pilot. If you don't like something, run for the FAC. Tell us you want to be on the Brand Fund Council. There'll be some open seats next year, et cetera, et cetera. You have a lot of opportunities. After this year, I'm done. I encourage any one of you to take my place. But I ask you now, did you volunteer for blended care? Did you step up to the Harvard study? Because I'll tell you, these things are not going to make you crush it today, but they are both designed to position right at home in the future as a true differentiator. I can tell you that my referral sources sit up straight when I talk about right at home in a study with the Harvard Medical School. When they're staring at the homesteads, the Bright Stars, Comfort Keepers, First Lights, and the thousands of other home care agencies, we have to continue to find ways to move out of the noise. Having a strong, innovative system is the only way we're going to do that. If you listened to Brian the other day, the future is quickly becoming now. If we don't play the long game as a system, try and maybe fail at some new things, our competition will do it for us. I invite you all to take a step of engagement this year, whatever it is, for our continued success, because your continued success is my continued success. At the FAC, we're also focusing on operational efficiency. Many of our businesses were killed this year with ACA-related costs, the cost of Clear Care, the cost of the Brand Fund, the loss of the companion exemption, higher labor rates, et cetera, et cetera. How are we supposed to swallow all this all at one time? It looks like our financial models have changed in an instant, and there is no going back. Maybe we're not happy with Clear Care. Maybe it doesn't fit the way I'm doing business exactly right now. At the FAC, we hear that, and we'll continue to bring you your concerns and our concerns to the table so Clear Care can continue to develop to be a better partner for us. But if it's not working for you today, I know it adds to your daily pressure. We've decided as a council that we need to keep corporate focused on how all of us can survive this environment. You know, financial, social pressure, and there's plenty, we heard about it in the legislative update. There's many more to come. It's a scary world out there for us, so we need to be prepared as a system to weather this storm. For some of us, the answer in the world of shrinking margins is just to get bigger, or look at blended care, or